Most people grab the most expensive filter on the shelf thinking it's the best one. It's not. A high MERV filter can actually restrict airflow so much it hurts your system. I'll show you which one you actually need and how to swap it out in a couple of minutes. So why not just buy the most expensive one anyways? Because with HVAC filters, more filtration can also mean less airflow. And less airflow is where things start to turn into an actual problem. That expensive purple box filter looks like the safe choice. It costs more, it catches smaller stuff, and the packaging makes it feel like you're protecting the house. But if your system wasn't designed for that much restriction, that filter can become a bottleneck. The filter is supposed to protect the equipment, but if the system can't breathe through it, it can start doing the opposite. On a heat pump or AC system, the indoor coil needs warm air moving across it. If the airflow drops too low, that coil can get too cold, condensation starts freezing, ice builds up, and once ice starts blocking the coil, airflow gets even worse. At that point, this is no longer a filter choice. You're looking at poor cooling, a frozen system, and possibly a service call. The blower motor can take a hit too. If the filter is too restrictive, the motor has to work harder to pull air through it. Older systems are especially vulnerable. Even newer systems still have limits. And if you have a gas furnace, restricted airflow can cause the furnace to overheat and shut itself down. Over time, that kind of heat stress is exactly what you don't want around the heat exchanger. That's why I wouldn't guess based on the filter box. If you want to know what your system actually can handle, find the model number on the indoor unit, that's the air handler or furnace, not the outdoor condenser. Then look up the owner's manual or installation manual and search for filter, MERV, airflow, or pressure drop. Some manuals will give you a max MERV rating. Some only talk about the filter size or pressure drop. If the manual does not clearly say your system can use a higher MERV filter, treat it as unknown and stay conservative. That's why I don't think of this as a cheap filter versus expensive filter. I think of it as airflow. The wrong filter may look like an upgrade on the shelf, but inside the system, it can be the thing that makes everything work harder. So the real question is not what's the most expensive filter I can buy, it's how much filtration my system can handle without choking airflow. That's where the MERV rating comes in. MERV is the number that tells you how fine of a particle the filter is designed to catch. For a normal house, the main ratings you'll see are MERV 8, MERV 11, and MERV 13. MERV 8 catches the bigger stuff like dust, pollen, and mold spores. That's why it's called the safe starting point. MERV 11 catches the smaller stuff, like pet dander, finer dust. That can be a good upgrade, but only if your system can still move enough air through it. MERV 13 catches even smaller particles. This is where people get into trouble. Higher number does not automatically mean that it's better for your system. Higher usually means more restriction, especially if it's a 1-inch filter. Filtrete uses NPR and Home Depot uses FPR. Same basic idea, different rating system. I'll put the quick translation on screen so that you don't have to memorize it. So the main thing here is the filter's first job is to protect the equipment. Cleaner air is a bonus. So here's what I would use to decide which MERV rating to use. First, don't start with the filter box. Start with your system. If you've got an older system with a basic single-speed motor, I would stay conservative. The motor really can't compensate when you put a denser filter in front of it. So MERV 8 is where I'd stay. That would also be FPR 5. If your system is newer and has a variable speed motor, you've got more room to move up. That's where MERV 11 can make sense, especially if you've got pets, allergies, or a dusty house. And that would be FPR 9 on a Home Depot filter. Second, look at the filter setup itself. A 1-inch filter and a 4-inch filter are not the same thing. This is the part most people miss. A thicker filter has a lot more surface area, so air can move through it easier. That's why a 4-inch MERV 13 can be less restrictive than a 1-inch MERV 8, even though the MERV number is higher. The easiest way to see it is to cut them open. This is a 1-inch filter in a size 16 by 25, and this is the same size filter in a 4-inch version. When you pull the pleats apart, the 4-inch filter has way more material inside it. That extra surface area gives the air more paths to move through, so it can catch the smaller stuff without choking the system as much. If this is helping you pick the right filter, hit the like button. It really does help. And if you'd like to see more stuff like this, subscribe. Once you get the right filter rating, the next thing is to get the right filter size. So to figure that out, go to the return and open it up. Take the old filter out, and you will see the size printed on the side. Unless you open it up and it doesn't fit very well, or it's too small or was crammed in there because it was too big, then this is the size you want. Let's say you open it up and you don't have the right size, or there's no filter in there. At that point, you'll have to measure it. So the way you measure this is you just put the tape measure in here and you round to the closest inch. So in this case, we're at 24 inches wide, and then we're at 30 inches tall. Even though it's just a hair off, that's what you're going to do, is just round it. And now for the actual swap, we just got to make sure that we get the airflow direction pointed in the right direction and just put it in there. So in my case, air is being sucked into this vent, and I'm just going to stick it in here like this. You want to make sure that the filter sits in there nice and flush and that it's not crushed or that there's any major gaps. This one fits flat, and so it's good to go. We'll just close this up and then latch the little latches on the top. And then at that point, we just turn the unit back on. Once it's in the right way, the next question is, how long can you leave it there? If it's a 1-inch filter, start by checking it every month. A lot of people say 1 to 3 months, and that's fine as a range, but don't just assume 3 months. If you got pets, allergies, a dusty house, or the system is running hard in the middle of the summer or winter, it's going to load up faster. If you have a thicker 4-inch or 5-inch filter, those last a lot longer. Think more like 6 to 12 months, depending on your system and how much it's running. The easiest habit is when you put a new filter in, write the date on the cardboard frame with a Sharpie. The next time you open it up, you don't have to guess. On this particular filter, there's actually months that you can circle, which kind of makes this handy. So it has like an install column and a replace column. So it says if you install in January, you would replace in April. But again, that's assuming 3 months. And you may want to do it sooner if your system is working a lot harder. And this is the part most people miss. A dirty, lower MERV filter can restrict airflow more than a clean, higher MERV filter. So the rating matters, but the schedule matters just as much. And if you want another HVAC maintenance task that can save you a service call, watch this one next. It's the AC drain line clog that cost me $75 the first time. And I'll show you how to clear it yourself for free in just a few minutes before it turns into another AC problem.